Be me, 20, professional simp and wallet on legs, crushing on this girl Jessica from my marketing class who's way out of my league. She's one of those girls who posts gym selfies and gets 500 likes in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, my selfies get 3 likes from my mom, my alt account, and some random bot. Been buying her Starbucks every Tuesday for 2 months straight. We're talking venti caramel, macchiato, with extra shots that costs more than my lunch. She always says, "Thanks, bestie," which should have been a red flag, but my simp brain interpreted it as progress. Also helped her move apartments, carried her furniture like some kind of unpaid laborer, drove her to the airport at 5 a.m. when her Uber canceled, basically became her personal assistant without the salary. My friends keep telling me I'm getting played, but I'm convinced she's just testing my dedication. One day, we're sitting in the campus coffee shop after I bought her usual overpriced drink. She's scrolling through Tinder while talking to me, which should have been another massive red flag. "You know what?" she says suddenly. "You're really good friend material." My heart sinks faster than the Titanic. "Friend material?" I repeat like a broken record. "Yeah," she continues. "You're so reliable and sweet, any girl would be lucky to have you as a friend." The friend zone speech hits different when it's delivered with a smile and a pat on the shoulder. Try to salvage the situation by asking what she means exactly. "Well," she says, "you're always there for me, you listen to my problems, you buy me coffee." Sounds like boyfriend material to me, I say, trying to sound confident but probably sounding desperate. She laughs like I just told the world's funniest joke. "Oh honey, no," she says. "You're more like a really good gay best friend, except you're straight." The roast hits harder than a freight train. "But hey," she continues, "since we're such good friends, maybe I can give you some benefits." My degenerate brain immediately jumps to conclusions. Thinks she's talking about friends with benefits situation. "What kind of benefits?" I ask, trying not to sound too eager. "Well, I work part-time at Old Navy," she explains. "I can get you my employee discount." My face when she's talking about shopping discounts. 20% off all purchases, she says proudly, and I get first access to sale items. Stare at her in complete disbelief. "You mean clothing discounts?" I clarify. "Exactly," she beams. "And I know someone who works at Bath and Body Works, so I can hook you up there too." 3 wick candles for the price of 2, she adds like she's offering me the deal of a century. Realize this girl thinks friendship benefits means retail perks. "Oh, and my mom works at a dental office," she continues. "I might be able to get you a discount on teeth cleaning." The enthusiasm in her voice makes it even more tragic. "Also, my cousin works at GameStop," she says. "Employee discount on used games." My brain is struggling to process this level of wholesome innocence mixed with complete obliviousness. "Jessica," I say slowly, "when you said benefits, I thought you meant trail off. Because how do you explain that you thought she was offering sex in exchange for friendship?" "Oh, and I forgot the best part," she interrupts. "My sister works at Subway, so free cookies sometimes." The Subway cookies comment breaks something inside me. Start laughing hysterically because the absurdity of the situation is overwhelming. She looks confused but starts laughing too, thinking we're sharing a fun moment. "You're really excited about the discounts, huh?" she says. "Yeah," I manage between laughs. "The discounts are exactly what I was hoping for." Spend the next hour listening to her explain all the various retail connections she has. Apparently her entire extended family works in customer service or retail. She's got hookups at Target, Michael's craft store, and even a car wash place. Starts making a list on her phone of all the places she can get me discounts. "This is going to save you so much money," she says earnestly. Meanwhile, I'm calculating how much money I've already spent on her coffee habit. 2 months of daily Starbucks runs probably cost me more than a year of Old Navy shopping. Suddenly, this absolute unit of a dude walks over to our table. Recognize him as Blake from my computer science class. This guy is peak incel energy with a fedora and everything, but somehow he carries himself like he's the main character of reality. "Well, well, well," Blake says in his nasally voice, "if it isn't the simp of the century." Jessica looks confused, but I can already tell this is going to be a disaster. "Blake, what do you want?" I ask, hoping he'll just leave. "I couldn't help but overhear your pathetic conversation," he says, adjusting his fedora. "Did she really just offer you retail discounts after months of you buying her coffee?" Jessica's face turns red with embarrassment. "Excuse me?" she says, clearly offended. Blake completely ignores her and continues talking to me. "Bro, you've been friend-zoned so hard you're getting shopping coupons as consolation prizes." "That's the most beta thing I've ever witnessed," he adds with a smirk. Who are you? Jessica asks, getting defensive. Blake finally acknowledges her existence. I'm Blake, he says, and I'm about to teach you both a lesson in social dynamics. Proceeds to literally T-pose in the middle of the coffee shop, arms spread wide, asserting dominance like some kind of autistic peacock. You see, Jessica, he says while maintaining the pose, you've been using this poor fool as an emotional tampon. And you, he points at me, have been enabling her by acting like a walking ATM. Jessica stands up, clearly angry now. You're being incredibly rude, she says. Rude? Blake laughs. I'm being honest. This guy has been simping for you harder than Twitch chat for Pokimane. The Pokimane reference makes me realize Blake spends way too much time online, and instead of being direct about your lack of interest, you string him along with retail benefits. That's not what happened, Jessica protests. Oh really? Blake says, finally dropping the T-pose. Then explain why you thought offering him Old Navy discounts was appropriate after he confessed his feelings. Jessica opens her mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Blake pulls out his phone and starts typing. What are you doing? I ask. Documenting this moment for my research, he says matter-of-factly. This is prime data for understanding modern dating dynamics. Jessica looks mortified. You can't write about this, she says. Watch me, Blake replies. This kind of field research is invaluable. You do research on dating? I ask in disbelief. Of course, Blake says proudly. I'm working on a comprehensive theory. Anyway, Blake continues, since you clearly don't appreciate his simping, I'll take those discounts. Jessica stares at him in confusion. You what now? The Old Navy discount, Blake clarifies. I need new cargo shorts. And that GameStop connection, I'm trying to build my retro gaming collection. Jessica looks between Blake and me like she's watching a tennis match. You can't just take his benefits, she says. Watch me, Blake says. Unlike him, I won't pretend to be your friend just to get something. I'll be upfront about using you for discounts while giving you nothing in return. That's somehow worse, Jessica points out. But it's honest, Blake counters. Honesty is the foundation of any transactional relationship. Jessica looks at me for help, but I'm too stunned to speak. So here's the deal, Blake says, pulling out a notebook. I'll give you brutally honest feedback about your dating life and social media presence. In exchange, you hook me up with all those family discounts you mentioned. That's not how this works, Jessica says, getting frustrated. That's exactly how this works, Blake insists. Everything is transactional. Your friend here just didn't understand the exchange rate. Starts writing in his notebook while talking. He was paying premium prices for basic tier friendship, whereas I'm offering specialized services for bulk discount rates. Jessica turns to me desperately. Are you going to let him talk to me like this? Realize this is my moment to either defend her or join Blake's chaos. Honestly, I say slowly, he's not entirely wrong. Jessica's face falls. You've been getting free coffee and emotional support while I got nothing. At least with Blake, the transaction is transparent. Blake grins triumphantly. See? Even the simp understands basic economics. Jessica sits back down, looking defeated. Fine, she says quietly. What kind of feedback are you offering? Blake immediately perks up and starts his pitch. First, your Instagram posts are basic as hell, he says bluntly. Gym selfies and food pics are peak normie content. Second, your Tinder bio says you're looking for adventure, but you work at Old Navy. That's false advertising at its finest. Jessica's jaw drops at the brutality of his assessment. Third, Blake continues, you friend-zoned this guy but kept accepting his gifts. That's textbook emotional manipulation, whether you realize it or not. I wasn't manipulating anyone, Jessica protests weakly. Intent doesn't matter, Blake says. Results do. The result is a guy who spent 2 months buying you coffee, expecting romantic reciprocation. Pulls out his phone and shows her something. According to my calculations, he spent approximately $240 on your caffeine addiction. How do you know that? I ask. I've been tracking your simp behavior for research purposes, Blake admits. The fact that he's been stalking my coffee purchases is disturbing but impressive. Anyway, Blake continues, here's what you need to do to improve your social interactions. Starts listing off suggestions like he's giving a TED Talk. Stop accepting gifts from guys you're not interested in. Be direct about your intentions instead of using ambiguous language. And maybe get a hobby that doesn't involve exploiting lonely men for free stuff. Jessica looks like she wants to leave, but she's also weirdly invested in hearing more. What else? she asked reluctantly. Blake's eyes light up like Christmas morning. Well, since you asked, he says, your choice in men is questionable at best. That guy you're dating looks like he peaked in high school. How do you know about him? Jessica asks suspiciously. Social media stalking is a valuable skill, Blake replies casually. Anyway, he's clearly using you for Instagram clout. Meanwhile, you had a genuine friend here who actually cared about you. And you reduced him to a discount shopping buddy. Jessica looks at me with something that might be regret. I didn't realize, she says softly. Of course you didn't, Blake says. Women are notoriously bad at reading social cues. That's why you need a professional consultant like me. Jessica actually laughs at this point. You're insane, she says, but you're also kind of right about some things. Blake does another T-pose to celebrate his victory. This is why I charge premium rates for my consulting services. But since you're hooking me up with family discounts, I'll consider this pro bono work. Jessica shakes her head but pulls out her phone. Fine, she says, I'll text you the Old Navy info. And the GameStop connection, Blake adds. And the Subway cookies, he continues. Don't push it, Jessica warns. What about the dental cleaning? Blake asks hopefully. Absolutely not, Jessica says firmly. Blake shrugs like he expected that response. Fair enough, I'll work with what I've got. Jessica stands up to leave. This has been the weirdest conversation of my life, she says, but also kind of enlightening. Looks at me one more time. I'm sorry things got weird between us, she says. Maybe we can actually be friends someday, when you're not expecting anything else from me. Nod because that's probably the best outcome I can hope for. Jessica leaves and Blake immediately starts typing on his phone. This is going to be valuable data for my research, he says excitedly. You're really going to write about this? I ask. Are you kidding? Blake responds, this is peak content. Simp gets friend-zoned, offered retail discounts, then Chad consultant swoops in to claim the benefits. You're not a Chad, I point out. In this scenario, I am, Blake insists. I got the discounts without months of emotional investment. That's peak efficiency. Can't argue with his logic, even though his methods are questionable. So what now? I ask. Blake finishes typing and looks up. Now we go shopping, he says. I need to test these discounts immediately. And you need new clothes that don't scream desperate virgin. Gee, thanks, I say sarcastically. You're welcome, Blake replies, completely missing the sarcasm. Spend the rest of the day at Old Navy with Blake as he explains his theories about female psychology. Use Jessica's discount to buy a hoodie that's actually pretty decent. Blake buys enough cargo shorts to last him through the apocalypse. This is the most successful social interaction I've had all semester, he says proudly. Realize that somehow Blake's brutal honesty approach worked better than my months of simping. My face when the incel gets the benefits while maintaining his dignity. That feel when you realize you've been doing social interactions completely wrong. Blake offers to teach me his methods, but I'm not ready for that level of autism. Decide to just stick to being normal and hope for the best. At least I got a discount hoodie out of this disaster. That feel when retail therapy is the only therapy you can afford. Beamy 21, professional loner who peaked in high school at mediocrity. Working part-time at a local pizza place while going to community college, life is basically a continuous loop of sauce stains and existential dread. This girl named Brittany starts working there about 6 months ago. She's cute but has that crazy energy that makes your spider senses tingle. Talks way too loud, laughs at her own jokes, always trying to start drama with customers. Basically, the human equivalent of a fire alarm that never shuts off. First week she's there, she keeps finding excuses to talk to me during shifts, brings me energy, drinks without being asked, compliments my pizza, folding technique, starts staying late to help me close even though she's not scheduled. My autism brain is completely oblivious to what's happening. Thinks she's just being friendly and trying to fit in with the team. One night after we finish cleaning, she corners me by the walk-in freezer, starts getting really close and playing with her hair like some kind of mating ritual. Tells me she thinks I'm really funny and mature compared to other guys our age. My fight or flight response kicks in because intimate moments terrify me. Thanks, Brittany. You're a good coworker too, I say like a complete robot. She looks confused but doesn't give up. Next week, she starts bringing me homemade cookies and leaving little notes in my locker. Notes say things like, hope your day is as sweet as you are, with way too many heart emojis. My coworkers start making jokes about having a secret admirer, still completely dense about her intentions because girls don't usually like me. Assumes she's just one of those overly friendly people who treats everyone this way. 2 months of this behavior and she finally decides to be direct. Asks me to hang out after work to watch a movie at her place. My socially awkward brain immediately assumes she means as friends. Sure, what movie? I ask, completely missing every signal she's sending. Her face lights up like she just won the lottery. Spends the entire next shift talking about how excited she is for our date. The word date makes me realize I might have accidentally agreed to something romantic. Start panicking because I'm not attracted to her and don't want to lead her on. Decide the mature thing to do is be honest before things go too far. Approach her during our break and ask to talk privately. Brittany, about tonight, I start nervously. I think there might be a misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? She asks, immediately getting defensive. I think you might see this as a date, but I just want to be friends. Her face goes through about 12 different emotions in 3 seconds. Starts with confusion, moves to hurt, then lands on pure rage. Are you serious right now? She asks, voice getting higher. You led me on for months and now you're rejecting me? Try to explain that I never meant to lead her on and didn't realize she was interested. How could you not know? She practically screams. I brought you cookies, stayed late to help you, left you notes. Realize she has a point, but also realize I dodged a major bullet. I'm sorry, Brittany. I really didn't understand. But I just don't feel that way about you. She stares at me for a full 10 seconds without blinking. This is bullshit, she finally says. No guy has ever rejected me before. The way she says it makes me think her ego just got nuked from orbit. I'm sure you'll find someone who appreciates you, I offer weakly. Screw you, she replies eloquently before storming off. Think that's the end of it. We can just be normal coworkers now. How wrong I was. Next shift, she shows up, dressed like she's going to a nightclub. Full makeup, tight clothes, the works. Starts flirting aggressively with every male customer who walks in. Hi there, handsome, what can I get for you today? In her most seductive voice. Watching a middle-aged accountant get confused by her advances is peak cringe. She keeps glancing at me to see if I'm watching her performance, clearly trying to make me jealous. But the only emotion I feel is secondhand embarrassment. Starts taking extra long breaks to fix her makeup in the bathroom. Comes back looking even more ridiculous each time. Applies so much lipstick, she looks like she kissed a fire truck. My manager notices her behavior and asks if everything is okay. Everything's perfect, she says while death glaring at me. Things escalate throughout the week. She starts accidentally bumping into me while carrying hot cheese. Manages to spill marinara sauce on my uniform 3 separate times. When I ask her to be more careful, she acts like it was completely unintentional. Oops, sorry, I'm just so clumsy today, with the fakest smile ever. Begins making passive-aggressive comments during team meetings. Some people here don't appreciate good relationships when they have them. It's so sad when guys don't know a good thing when they see it. Everyone else just looks confused while I want to disappear into the floor. Decides to escalate to psychological warfare. Starts playing the same Taylor Swift breakup songs on repeat during closing. We're talking we are never getting back together at full volume, except we were never together in the first place. Brings her phone speaker and sets it right next to where I'm working. This song just speaks to me, she says dramatically. The irony is completely lost on her. Begins recruiting other female coworkers to her cause. Tells them I used her for emotional labor and played with her feelings. Suddenly half the staff thinks I'm some kind of heartbreaker. My reputation goes from quiet, weird guy to manipulative fuckboy. Try to explain my side, but nobody wants to hear it. You should have been clearer about your intentions, Sarah from Day Shift lectures me. Leading someone on is really cruel, adds Melissa from Weekends. Realize Brittany has successfully turned this into a whole narrative, where I'm the villain. She starts doing things to mess with my work performance, hides pizza boxes so I can't find them during rush hour, reorganizes the walk-in cooler so nothing is where it should be, accidentally on purpose, gives me wrong information about special orders. My performance reviews start suffering because of the chaos she's creating. Manager calls me into the office to discuss my recent issues. Brittany mentioned you might be having some personal problems, affecting your work performance. Realize she's trying to get me fired through sabotage and manipulation. Can't exactly tell my boss that a coworker is waging psychological warfare because I rejected her. Just some stress at home, I lie. We'll try to leave personal issues out of the workplace, manager says. Meanwhile, Brittany is literally weaponizing the entire work environment against me. She starts bringing different guys to pick her up after shifts. Always make sure I'm within earshot when they arrive. Hey babe, ready to go have some real fun? Loud enough for the whole kitchen to hear. The guys usually look confused by her over-the-top behavior. One time she brings this massive dude who looks like he bench presses motorcycles, makes out with him aggressively right next to the time clock. The poor guy seems overwhelmed by her intensity. "See what you missed out on?" she whispers to me as she leaves. Dude looked like he was being devoured by a particularly aggressive python. Actually felt sorry for him. Brittany starts leaving fake evidence of her amazing dating life around the workplace. Accidentally drops movie ticket stubs and restaurant receipts near my station. Leaves her phone face up with notifications from dating apps. Makes loud phone calls about her incredible weekend plans. "Oh yeah, he's taking me to that expensive steakhouse downtown." I can barely keep up with all the guys asking me out. The performance is so over the top that even our brain-dead coworkers start noticing. "Is Brittany okay?" Mike from delivery asks me. "She's been acting weird lately." "Define weird," I respond. "Yesterday she told a customer she was too hot to handle and did finger guns." Realize her desperation is reaching critical mass. Starts commenting on every social media post I make. Doesn't matter what it is. She finds a way to make it about our situation. Post a picture of my lunch. Some people don't deserve good food. Share a meme. At least someone has a sense of humor. Update my status. Hope you're happy with your choices. My friends start asking why some random girl is stalking my online presence. Have to explain the whole situation, and they think it's hilarious. "Dude, you created a monster," my roommate Kevin says. "She's like a rejected supervillain with access to pizza ovens." The situation reaches peak absurdity when she starts leaving anonymous notes. Finds them taped to my car windshield after shifts. "You don't know what you lost," written in pink glitter pen. "Karma's a bitch, and so am I," in angry red marker. "I hope your next girlfriend has food poisoning," which is oddly specific. Start taking pictures of the notes because they're becoming collector's items. My friends think it's the funniest thing they've ever seen. "This is better than reality TV," Kevin says while reading them. Brittany escalates to involving customers in her revenge plot. Starts telling regulars that I broke her heart and ruined her life. "That guy over there destroyed my ability to trust men," she tells Mrs. Henderson. "He's the reason I have commitment issues now," she explains to teenage customers. Mrs. Henderson actually comes up to me and says I should apologize. "That poor girl is clearly devastated," she lectures. "You young men don't understand how fragile women's hearts are." Want to explain that we never dated, but Mrs. Henderson doesn't want to hear it. Brittany overhears and gets this smug, satisfied look on her face. Realizes she can manipulate public opinion to make me look like the bad guy. Starts giving out free breadsticks to customers who agree that I'm terrible. "You're so right, men are the worst," while handing out garlic bread. Our profit margins are probably suffering from her emotional bribery campaign. The breaking point comes when she tries to sabotage a catering order. Big corporate event, hundreds of pizzas, really important for the restaurant. She accidentally puts pineapple on everything, including the meat lovers. "Oops, must have misread the order," she says innocently. Manager is furious and threatens to fire whoever messed up. Brittany immediately points at me. "He's been making a lot of mistakes lately," she says, probably distracted by personal drama. Luckily, the security camera footage shows her doing it. Manager reviews the tape and sees her deliberately sabotaging the order, calls us both into the office for a meeting. There seems to be some kind of workplace conflict affecting performance. Brittany tries to play victim. "He's been harassing me and making work difficult. I'm just trying to do my job, but he keeps bothering me." Manager looks at me for my side of the story. Finally decide to tell the whole truth. Explain how she asked me out, I said no, and she's been sabotaging me ever since. Show him the photos of the notes she's been leaving on my car. Manager's face goes from confused to horrified. "Brittany, is this true?" She tries to deny it, but the evidence is overwhelming. "This is workplace harassment," manager says. "You can't retaliate against coworkers for personal reasons." Gives her a written warning and mandatory sensitivity training. Brittany storms out, saying this is all my fault. "You ruined everything," she screams. "All you had to do was give me a chance." Manager shakes his head after she leaves. "Some people can't handle rejection," he says. "Sorry you had to deal with that." Brittany's behavior improves for exactly 1 week. Then she starts the whole cycle over again, but more subtly. My face when I realize she's going to hold this grudge forever. That feel when rejecting someone politely creates a lifelong nemesis. Still work there, and she still gives me dirty looks. 6 months later, every time a Taylor Swift song comes on the radio, she stares at me meaningfully. My coworkers have gotten used to the ongoing Cold War. "There goes World War III again," Mike says when we're scheduled together. At least the notes stopped after manager got involved. but she still accidentally burns my pizza slices during busy rushes. That feel when you learn that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned at minimum wage.
Women.